I did a centipede lei, all centipedes.
Did they ask for that?
I just wanted to try it.
Has anyone ever asked you to make a cockroach lei?
I have made a cockroach lei. I love a Miley lei, but for example, that plant, like it's becoming over-harvested. It grows in the wild, like it has to be picked in the forest. To kind of bring that awareness and also make a more sustainable lei and promote the local flowers.
Here in Hawai'i, a very special place. We're talking stories, taking it back down memory lane. So sit down, relax as we chit and chat. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, about the kids these days and where they may go. And the reasons why we're proud to call this island home. Here in Hawaii.
Aloha and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be hanging out with Lauren Shearer from Pukalani, Maui. Now our friends who connected us with Lauren had told us that she was a talented Lei-Maker and the owner of Hawai'i Flora and Fauna. I actually didn't know what Fauna was until after I talked to Lauren, so I had no idea what we were walking into with this interview. Lauren's great though, and she's super talented and super fun, and I hope you enjoy our time with her. And just as a side note, for our good friend Jill and anybody else who hates cockroaches, don't worry, you're not gonna see any roaches in here, so please keep watching. Can we look in your car?
Oh God, really?
Yeah!
Oh my God, I'm now embarrassed. Oh look, look, I got a coconut. I actually need to bring these in. I picked these yesterday. It's a load of shell ginger. You take this little piece off and then string them. This is an old Maui gold pineapple office. I call it the curiosity cabinet and have just collected, and people have brought me different things from nature, flora and fauna, so the plants and the animals.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
Have you always been someone who likes to collect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Small kind hoarder.
Yeah, your roommates really must have loved you.
I know, my freezer, you should see my freezer here.
We'll go take a look.
Okay. I'm so weird. I like to collect everything. Like, I pick up like dead mongoose in the middle of the road.
Why? What are you planning to do?
Look,
with
there's
it?
a mongoose pelt right there. That one. The other day I had someone get in my car and I was like, it might stink in here, because I picked up a dead puffer fish that was like fully cured on the beach.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was driving down with the windows down because it was smelling so bad. My dad thinks I'm really weird. He's like, you're not my daughter. I've been trying to do a little bit of taxidermy and just ways to preserve different things and incorporate that into lei.
Oh, really?
So the fauna lei, bones and different insects. And I did a centipede lei, all centipedes, and
Did they ask for that?
I just wanted to try it,
Oh, okay.
and then I did it, and I posted it to Instagram, and like people ordered centipede lei after. Wow. Right? It's so creepy. I mean, it's hard. I collect the centipedes, or people now have been collecting centipedes and dropping them off. I'm like, what did I do to myself that people are dropping centipedes off in my shop? But
So when you make those, do they wear? Is it to be worn?
I give it, and then I'm like, you do whatever you need. But yes, I haven't seen people wear them.
Has anyone ever asked you to make a cockroach lei?
I have made a cockroach lei.
Why am I not surprised?
My sister actually, the other day she gives me a Tupperware of cockroaches, big ones, like the B-52 cockroaches.
So your sister actually is supportive of this.
Yes,
Like,
and even my dad now, he actually collects centipedes for me, puts them in his freezer.
oh my gosh.
And yeah, then people like come over to your house and like open the freezer up and there's like centipede, and you're like, ah!
Before we head back to Lauren's shop, I wanted to take a minute to introduce you to Lisa Lavilla at City Mill.
My name is Lisa Lavilla. I worked 31 years, been working here, something like that. and I'm in the paint department.
How did you find your way to this vocation, this career?
I needed a job.
Is this your first job?
No.
Oh.
Before that, I was like from preschool teacher to assistant to service station, liquor store, service station, and came here.
What has been kind of like your experience here that makes you feel like this is the place to stay for so long?
I guess I like helping customers. To me, it's easy because I've been, like what I've been doing for so long. Like, it's really easy, Auntie. All you gotta do is just put the spackle on the hole, make pretty, make them nice and smooth, and then just paint over or whatever. They go, I can't do it. I go, oh, of course you can. I like helping them that way, make them feel like, oh, I can do that. So they're like, yeah, I go, you can.
Do you feel like when you were working with the kids in the preschool, that's kind of the same thing? Like you liked empowering them, giving them, the tools.
The small to old now, yeah. Yeah.
So this has kind of been something that's kind of been within, not necessarily paint, but just like this desire to help people do things on their own.
I guess, like from younger days, from like when my mom then would say, I'm still in elementary now, my mom said, okay, you gotta help you take care of your cousins. I'm like, oh.
Did you live with a lot of your cousins and stuff? Like, how come you had to help take care of your cousins?
So I had a lot of boy cousins. I had one girl cousin, but she was in Hawai'i, so I had a lot of boy cousins. So in a way, it's kind of good that the way I grew up, because not only, you can be girly, but then make you more tough. We always say, oh, how long are we gonna stay at City Mill? I said, we'll give it 5 years. I go, yeah, 5, and next thing you know, it's 10 years. They go, I guess we're staying here then. No, I guess so. Trying to retire next year, so I'm telling you guys will miss me.
What is this?
This I found the other day on the beach. I'm not sure what kind of
like a
fish
rabbit
it is.
fish.
Isn't it crazy? Look at that. I have a hunter. He gave me all his board tusks. So I'm gonna make something with them. Not sure what yet. I always loved gardening and playing with plants and collecting things from nature.
Yeah.
Grew up around a couple uncles that were big hunters and had animals and, pet deer and quails and pheasants.
Wow.
And that was a really profound moment for me when I was a child to hang out at Uncle Teddy's house. He was one of my dad's best friends, and we would always just go over to his house. He would take us fishing, and just a really Portuguese man. Lived right in Makawao, and just core conditioning moments, I think, for me in my childhood. To understand that full aspect of life and using things from the land.
When you said that you had this respect for nature and such, and wanting to make sure you always replenish, where did you get those values from?
I believe that came from my grandmother. She's a Native American woman from Oklahoma, and she adopted my father, and she basically was around my sister and I a lot in our childhood, and just really instilled that value of nature. And every time I do what I do now, I feel her presence.
Wow.
Yeah. I always loved making lei and picking flowers. I would always go in the backyard and just make a little bouquet for the table or the house. And then, so I would always make lei for friends' birthdays and if they arrived back from college, and that was kind of, through high school. I started getting a little more creative with it and using ingredients that aren't normally used in lei making, and making this very artistic, creative, contemporary lei.
Yeah.
And then posting it to Instagram, and I got a really good response. Mm-hmm. So people then started ordering for their friends' birthdays and their parents' birthdays and weddings and events and corporate events and hotels, and it just took off from that. I was working 5 other jobs and making lei.
Really?
Yeah. And then I got this shop 6 years ago, and then I started doing this full time.
So what were their 5 jobs that you're doing, and why were you doing so many?
It's hard to live in Hawaii. Pay the bills. I was working as a waitress at a restaurant. I was working in an art gallery in Kula. I was working at my dad's helicopter business, and then doing catering events and doing floral work for a wedding florist. Yeah.
I'm always curious what motivated people to overcome that hesitation or fear. Because as business owners ourselves, like people are always asking us, like, how do you just, like, there's so many things that are making you scared to pull the trigger.
Totally, you have to take risks, I think, in business. I had my largest lei order at the time, which was 50 lei, and I had a full-on production in my house, and I realized, and just even the fridge space. So I was like, I can't do it like this anymore, and this is just gonna be one of many more. So I moved into this space, and I right away got a 165 lei order.
Holy
and I was
smokes.
like, yes, now I have the space.
Living in town, I'm loving every single morning
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
because, I walk down, 2 or 3 blocks over to work. It's a beautiful thing. I feel like this is kind of an extension of my house. We have a beautiful gym, and I'm growing stronger, not only physically, I think I'm growing stronger mentally. It's enriching. I am Renee Lane. I'm Credit Administration Manager. I've been at the credit union for 6 beautiful years. The first question that we ask ourselves is, what is it that we can do to make our members' lives better? And that's where my job comes in. Credit administration is very risk-focused, because I'm trying to understand what our members actually need. We work very, very hard to make sure that the loans and the credit that we give out to all of our different members are safe and sound. Of course, we still take that data, so all that data background that I have is very beneficial for me, but now I'm really able to impact the members even further, and it feels great. We have to be sure that we know exactly how the economy is performing in order for us to come up with strategies to help our members. The Economic Quarterly Forum is one of those things that I'm very proud of, that I put together. We'll all sit down and have a very open and honest discussion about what's happening with the economy. Every single thing that you do on a daily basis, you can make it your own. That's one of the beautiful things about working at Hawaii State Federal Credit Union. A good sign of a great culture is where you go to work, but then you like to hang out with your coworkers after work. And that's exactly what we have here. It makes everybody from our front lines to our credit resolution staff to our CEO feel good and feel proud about what we do here on a daily basis.
We got more with Lauren coming up, but first, I want to introduce you to our youngest guest for this season and the most mature 9-year-old that I've ever interviewed. Here's Waileia.
I'm Waileia Kapua and A'akeawe Mahi Lorenzo, and I am 9 years old. I don't really get stage fright.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember the first time you ever got on stage for a performance?
Yes,
How old
I
were
do.
you?
Ooh, I was 3.
Holy smokes.
No, because my preschool, I used to dance hula for them.
Yeah.
So I got the main role one time, so yeah.
What is it about performing that you feel so comfortable about it, that you like it?
I just love dancing. It's really fun.
So for the 6 years that you've been, doing performances stuff, what kind of competitions and performances have you gotten to partake in so far?
So my first Tahitian competition was Ori Tahiti Las Vegas. I won 3rd place for that one. And then the one that I recently did now, which is the 2nd one, Hawai'i Kauai. I got 2nd place for that.
Wow. So you went 3, 2, so the next performance is going to be 1, yeah?
No, that's what my dad said.
Yeah? So what's the
4th,
next
3rd.
competition going to be?
Hawai'i Sea Life Park.
Okay, so we'll be at Sea Life Park to see the first place. What is it about Tahitian and that type of dance that you love?
I just love seeing all my friends. My favorite was the trip to Vegas because I had my friend Lovey. We went to play games after the performance. She did really good. I loved her costume.
Oh, speaking
Yeah.
of which, how do you get your costumes and stuff?
We make it.
Really? You
Yeah.
make your own?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what do you sew it, or how do you make your costumes?
So if we're putting shells on, we usually super glue it or hot glue. But for flowers and stuff, we sew.
Wow. So what is one of your favorite costumes that you've created so far?
Probably the one that I just did, Kauai.
So what was it about that you like so much?
The headpiece. It was a round box around my head, and it was filled with tuberose,
Oh wow.
anthuriums, and yeah, and my mom made a wrist bracelet last minute because I wanted one.
Oh. When you say last minute, how last minute? The night before?
No, last minute,
Like
5
right
minutes before.
What? Holy smokes. So does your dad help out too? Do you do anything with him in regards to your dance career?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you guys do?
He usually comes and helps support. He cheers me on, yeah, and he helps a lot. He doesn't grumble.
And then do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 2 older brothers.
What's that like having 2 older brothers?
I don't like it.
Why not? Why not?
They're mean.
What? How could they be mean to you?
They bully me.
Do you feel at least maybe it'll be good to have older brothers as you grow up to, kind of have them be protected
Yeah.
and have your back?
But not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
So yeah, I just cut the little
Oh, you got a
berries
lot.
off. I do.
Yeah.
Pick, process, poke.
The 3 P's.
The 3 P's of Lei-Making. There was these construction guys, and they were cleaning up the other side of this fence line,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Give me your pole pruner," and they helped me pick all
Wow.
this hayberry, and it was just so awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, so I made 2 new friends too, picking some hayberry, middle of nowhere. With lei business, there's always the need for flowers.
Mhm.
And different ingredients, products. I forage most of them, but then of course now I purchase from local farmers and grow as much as I can.
Oh, that's good.
And then with lei, we have seen this commercialized, purple orchid lei, for example.
Yeah.
And it is imported from Thailand by boxes of 500 or thousands that every tourist that arrives here gets one of those.
Yeah.
I love a Miley lei, but for example, that plant, it's becoming over-harvested. It grows in the wild, it has to be picked in the forest. And it was super difficult. People want a Miley lei, and I can't always guarantee that.
Yeah.
To kind of bring that awareness and also make a more sustainable lei, and promote the local flowers and the community businesses and help support that.
So when you say you forage, I'm sure it's all kinds of different experiences, but can you share a little bit about what that's like?
Yes, I have a lot of different spots that I go to, picking a lot from the roadside, the roadsider. There's amazing ingredients here and abundant ingredients, so there's no shortage there. I have relationships with tree trimmers and landscapers, and urban landscaping is amazing. There's an Australian tulip wood tree that they plant in parking lots, and
Really?
queen crepe myrtle that they plant in parking lots. And so, I forage a lot in parking lots and roadside and random places. I hike to some plants. everywhere I'm driving, I'm always looking.
Yeah.
And distracted by what's around me. But pulling over a lot and picking different things and even knocking on people's doors and being like, can I pick that? I want to make a lei out of it.
From that experience, have you made any kind of cool connections?
Oh yeah, definitely. This uncle in Makua actually has this, it's called Colville's Glory tree, and it's this beautiful orange tree. And I was just dying to make a lei out of it. And so I put a letter in his mailbox and he called me and he let me come and pick his tree.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
then I gave him a lei out of it. And it was just like a new friend and connection.
Wow.
And so, right, knowing your neighbor and yeah.
Oh, we gotta look in your fridge.
Oh
your
yeah,
freezer.
let's go see what we got in there. Like I did some skulls and like centipedes and different insects, like Jackson chameleon for a guy's retirement party, and he wore that lei with pride all night long. He's like, look at my leg.
How'd you learn how to do taxidermy?
YouTube.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna joke.
No, but I always, again, back to my Uncle Teddy, he was a big hunter and had this whole room with all these, taxidermied animals. And I really enjoyed spending time in that room, as weird as it is. It's not for everybody. And then finding different things. And we have, a huge deer population here.
Right.
So we eat it and use it, and the pelts, I was like, we don't need to throw these away, we can use every part of the animals and preserve that.
Yeah.
This is my floral fridge, pardon the mess back here. So this is where I keep all my ingredients and finished lei products. And then I have my Fauna fridge. I got a dead mongoose in here. Let's see, a jar with a centipede. More centipedes. Lots of birds.
Oh.
That's just a tea leaf.
Oh.
I haven't even been in this freezer in a minute.
Oh my god.
Oh
I think
my
we're
God.
good. I think we're good.
No more? You want me to go deeper?
No,
I don't know what's in there.
No.
Oh my god.
Man, Lauren's great. Not only was she fun to hang out with, but she also introduced me to a new perspective about art and preservation and finding the beauty in all things. That's something that I'd like to do more of. Well, probably not the beauty in a cockroach lei, but you know what I mean. I loved hearing that strangers were just helping her out for no reason other than just being nice, and that she's built friendships through this all. It really shows how much aloha there is just in our everyday interactions. And if you haven't yet, I highly encourage you to check out Lauren's Instagram and see for yourself all the incredible things that she's made and continues to create, including a spam lei that is just wild. Her Instagram handle is @Hawai'i Flora Fauna. And speaking of Instagram, if you haven't yet, please follow us at Here in Hawaii TV, because we post all kind of good stuff on there, including parts of the interviews that don't make it into the episodes. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next week. Aloha. I always find it interesting for especially creatives and artists.
Yeah.
Where it's something that you're taking a talent or a skill or a passion, and you're kind of putting yourself out there.
Oh, it's
right?
nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I never thought of myself as an artist.
Oh, really?
Yep. And so accepting that I am an artist has been, I think, a good step in the right direction.
Why was it hard to accept that you're an artist? Because when we look at everything you're doing, we're like, why would you not think that?
I just never thought I was or could be.
Do you think it's because
And
you
be
didn't study to do it?
I didn't, I didn't go to a fine arts school or get a degree in any of that.
Yeah.
But, right, I mean, again, it's just following spirit. Can I use that word?
Yeah.
It's following spirit and what you're passionate about. You can find where it is that you really belong.
That's beautiful. I love that.
I feel so weird. I'm like, who am I right now?